taxes on Social Security. Now here's the bullshit. Now you got to read through the article. What bullshit? Okay, the average Social Security benefit's $24,000 a year. All right, fine. Then they say 85% includes. 15% is not taxed because I guess that's the amount you paid in. So in all cases, 85% is being taxed. So that's bullshit right there. You're not getting any benefit there. Then they talk about the standard deduction of $15,750, the basic standard deduction. Well, you could use that to offset. No. That offsets other income, not only Social Security income. So, money's fungible and deductions are fungible also. Okay, then they talk about, an extra $2,000 you got already built in of deductions, so if you're a senior. So, no, that goes against all income, not Social Security income. You still have that. Then they added $6,000 of the one beautiful big bill, whatever it's called, which is bullshit, all right? It's to seniors deduction. And again, they're not giving you anything. That goes against other income. So all these deductions go against your income. Not only Social Security income, but the article makes it sound like it's going only against your Social Security income. You can't shelter your other income because it's all used for this, which is bullshit. What a bullshit article. So that's about all I can say, except the tax rates, which both the Democrats and Republicans. By the way, did I make myself clear on the Social Security tax?
Well, I heard the words. I don't know whether it fully computed, but others it may.
Okay. The benefits they're giving you is really you could use for all income. So it doesn't only go to Social Security income. And it's leaving all income with no benefits. What I want to say? I forgot what I want to say. Where was I going? Well, maybe I should land my plane. I think I made my points here.
Thank you.
I don't like this one big beautiful bill is not so beautiful. I was going to say something about Democrats, Republicans. All right, the one thing that had to be done, this bill has to be passed, or tax rates go up considerably, if this bill isn't passed. And I don't know who will suffer for that also, Democrats or Republicans, because it's a joint operation here. And last but not least, I'll say the Democrats better stop people like Mondani for gaining office. You better stop it, or you're going to lose more than just a little midterm election, or you'll lose the country. Okay? When an anti-Semite, an accused anti-Semite, an accused Marxist, accused Jew hater, I said anti-Semite.
I wouldn't use the word accused personally, but it's nice of you to quantify.
No, I thought you'd make me. Fair enough.
But I don't know that the radical members of the Democratic Party are necessarily representative of the Democratic Party as a whole. But I know it'll be spun that way by the conservatives. Thank you, Jules.
One last thing on that. Chuck Schumer hasn't said anything.
Chuck Schumer is a big disappointment, and that's another issue. But I'm not so sure. When you look at the politics of the West Coast, the Democrats of the West Coast are lean in the same direction. Look at Oakland, California as an example, right? Or Portland, or Seattle. So are you going to say, well, that's representative of the mainstream Democratic Party? I don't think so. It is representative of a faction of the Democratic Party. Now, in terms of how the Democrats might lose nationally because of the perception that that's representative of the Democratic Party, I know there's a big attempt by the Republicans to paint the people who rioted during the George Floyd demonstrations as representative of the Democratic Party. But it's not. They were not politicians out there pushing candidates or platforms. They were thugs taking advantage of legitimate demonstrations to do their thuggery. They were criminals. And they were able to hide behind the demonstrations that occurred. And there's no question that it happened, and there's no question that some of the response by some of the police agencies was less than stellar. So that proves that I saw on Fox yesterday a lower third that referred to communism on the Hudson. I'm not a fan of Mamdani. I consider him a clear and present danger to the Jewish community. But some of the arguments about him and trying to overlay them on the Democratic Party nationally is nothing but hyperbole and unfair. And I'm not a Democrat. I'm not saying this defensively. This is just my observation, which I'm sure Jules disagrees with. David and Ben gets the last word. Dave.
Yeah, hi, Gary. Great room today. It's a bill passage. We'll see what the GOP does to stop it up or run it to the finish line before July 4th. I'm sure Johnson's working overtime. But a lot of disheartening things in this bill, Gary, that I could take apart. I think, obviously, for me, living in Los Angeles, the money that's going to be allocated to bolster this dragnet approach to rounding up immigrants, making light of the fact that there'll be alligators to encircle the incarcerated is just a horrible, horrible message to be sending to the diversity of this country. I've heard it argued that that ICE detention centers hold up to 41,000 people, and we currently have 56,000 being housed in really untenable, horrific conditions. This Florida facility has the ability to rendition people in and out of the airport there in the darkness of night, and to be able to send people off to the various countries that are involved in our immigration policies.
And by the way, to your point, let me just interrupt for a second, if you don't mind, David. Do you know, I don't know the answer to this, and I probably should, and I apologize for having to ask it. Is this facility is it a government detention facility, or is it an outsourced detention facility? Do you know?
I don't know if it's going to be privately ran or managed. I'd have to do a deeper dive on that.
Because there's a real problem that manifested itself in Newark, New Jersey, when the mayor and the congresswoman got arrested for wanting to tour, without getting, a prior approval of some kind of an appointment. And one of the reasons they were able to turn a member of Congress away is that it wasn't a federal facility. It's a private facility run on behalf of the federal government. And so, do we have the kind of oversight of those facilities as we do those that are run by the government? And furthermore, there is another question that I have, and that has to do with even when it is a government-run facility, is it run by the Bureau of Prisons, or is it run by Immigration and Natural? I think it's run by ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And so, are the standards the same? as they are for a federal prison. I've toured federal prisons, and I gotta say, like in Michigan, where I covered prisons, when I was a newspaper reporter in Michigan, the facilities provided and the conditions provided for the federal prisons much better than those for the state prisons because they have high standards. So you use the term, would you say draconian? Maybe that's actually accurate.
So just to add to that, it appears that the funding, it's federally government funded, and the Florida Division of Emergency Management will oversee the build out and management of the facility. So the state of Florida, I guess, has won the contract to handle the retaining of these immigrants.
So that is outsourced, but not to a private entity, to a state governmental aid.
Correct. Yes, that's what at a cost of about $450 million a year.
See, folks, we have a responsibility as a society, one that's never been lived up to be aware of the conditions in our prisons, because it's reflective of our society, how we treat our prisoners. And I'm sensitive to it maybe because I covered prisons for a while when I was a reporter in Michigan. But I can tell you that of course, we don't want it to be a country club, but we want it to be a relatively safe environment. And I've walked around state prisons unescorted, and I've walked around federal prisons, and I can tell you that my fear level was much greater walking through the state prisons than it was walking through the federal prisons, and that was just on a short visit. Imagine what it must be like if you are considered a vulnerable inmate in a state prison. This is, and now think about detention facilities in which there is no oversight in how people are being treated. We saw that before on the border when people were put in cages. So we don't want to face some of these things that are going on in our society, but I think it's our responsibility to do so. Thank you for bringing.
Yeah, well, yeah. So it's also been argued that the spending that'll go into building out these new facilities, upwards of $75 billion is the estimation, 48 to 75 billion, will spend more on these detention centers than what states spend for all 50 states on their prison industrial complexes. And we're considered one of the highest incarcerated, if not the highest incarcerating nation in the world. Second or first only to China. I don't know the full statistics on that. So, and then on top of that, Gary, they're going to be hiring upwards of, there's only 6,000 ICE agents, and many of those have obviously been deployed to places like Los Angeles, where I live. But they're talking about doubling and tripling these agents with using this money to provide signing bonuses, so upwards of 10,000 per agent. So imagine, and of course, this will be rained down not just on Los Angeles, but Chicago, Philadelphia, New York, other cities where there's supposedly these sanctuary bills in play. So it's a very ominous approach to what he said, what he wasn't going to do. He was supposed to go after the hardened criminals that have gotten into this country. And so, I don't know. And El brought up a great point with regard to our seniors and how we're going to be warehousing our seniors in what? In unfunded, less desirable facilities, so that we can go around and stormtroop, the immigrants of this country. So it's a very bad optics, which will hopefully compel the Democratic candidates going into the 2026 to win a lot of votes off of this. And if Elon Musk is able to implement his vitriol toward this bill, I would be cutting checks today, finding candidates willing to run against these guys who probably didn't even read the bill, and we're leaving our own constituency in a lurch. I would be publishing the amount of costs that these GOP senators are going to be costing their constituents, particularly in the more rural areas of this country, and how their voters aren't going to have health care, and their grandmas aren't going to have health care. I mean, I would be running campaigns between now and 2026 highlighting this. But this is what's got to happen, Gary, in order to try to even have a modicum ability to reverse what has been passed here. And then with regard to the money that Trump's using, you talk about, this Mandami guy, which until the guy came on board, I didn't know anything about him. I mean, I'm an LA guy, I'm not a New York guy, but Trump is talking about going after his citizenship. So is Trump going to then weaponize this police force of his? He's already got his own private law firm in the Department of Justice with this Bondi gal. So is he going to take the dollars and go after his enemies, political enemies, those that speak ill of him? So this is another chilling component of this bill that Americans should be absolutely afraid of. And again, I'm not here to defend the New York guy and his politics, and I take to heart your opinion about his anti-Semitism, Jewish positions, because I've been in your room, I've heard you speak. So, I don't want to necessarily give the guy a pass, but we can't allow for our democracy to be Gestapo like this with regard to whether or not I can run for politics or not, because I might end up in an alligator gulag in Florida. So I'll end there, Gary. Thanks for letting me speak. I'm highlighting the immigration issues.
Thank you. And then we'll go to Ben, and Elmer was here before, fell out and came back, so we'll get to Elmer as well. Go ahead, Ben.
Hi, Gary. I'm gonna talk about something else, which I came here late, but I have not heard other people talking about a particular provision in the BBB. Everybody has been talking about the deficit, the tax cuts, Medicaid, et cetera. But I think for me, I've been really concerned about one particular, very minor, one paragraph out of 100,000 pages. And Gary, I don't know whether that provision has been eliminated from the Senate version, but if it has, please let me know.
1,000 pages, 1,000, not 100.
Yes, 1,000 pages. So Gary, the provision I'm referring to is the one that was this: no court of the United States may use appropriated funds to enforce a contempt citation for failure to comply with an injunction or temporary restraining order if no security was given when the injunction or order was issued. That was it.
So what does that mean? What does that mean, Ben?
So that means essentially it takes away the power of the federal court to issue injunction asking the president or the government not to do certain things that are unconstitutional. In other words, put it bluntly, the government can give the middle finger to the federal court when, for example, the deportation case, many of the executive orders. If a court has ruled that the executive order is unconstitutional, unlawful, the government can say, I don't care about your ruling. And usually the court would say, oh, that's contempt of order. So the court can actually force the government to comply with the court order, with this injunction or restraining order. In this particular case, this provision, one sentence out of 1,000-page bill, if that remains in the Senate version, then that would mean the government said, I don't care. That's not enforceable unless the plaintiff comes up with the security that would compensate.
Ben, your microphone's open.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're.
Okay. So this is a very, very dangerous provision in the bill if it passes, signed by the president. And other than myself, another person has raised this issue who says removal of funding for enforcement of federal court of contempt order is the actual crux of the spending bill. This is nominally aimed at removal of illegal immigrants, but obviously also.
But you don't know whether it's still there because of the amendments overnight.
Right, And again,
So I'm giving you some homework, Ben.
I will try to get that. But the quote that I just made, it was published on X, written by Elon Musk. So there's at least two people that I know of in the U.S., me myself, and Mr. Musk, that's concerned and calling this provision is the actual.
When did Musk tweet that?
The danger of this.
You're cutting in and out. You're cutting in and out again. Ben, when did Musk tweet?
Tuesday.
So he Tuesday is today, Tuesday?
You know what? I took a screenshot when I saw this. I don't know whether it's this week or last week.
Well, basically, I want to know is whether he tweeted it before or after the vote.
Right. I'm sorry, Gary. I will do my homework, but it's today. I think that's the one that I have to study. But don't put me on this. I will do my homework and then.
Yeah. Well, that's very interesting. I don't hear that being discussed, and so that's a very important issue that you brought up.
Sorry, go ahead.
See if you can research it and let us know. At least go back to the chat and let us know, because that's huge.
It is Gary. It is very, very important because it was in the House bill, and Gary, the House bill was passed by one vote, 215 over 214. And this is my point I'm making. Whether this provision is here or not, I think going back to the title of the room, the midterms. If we think that those of us who don't really like Donald Trump, and that's a bad thing that happened that he got elected president, I think this bill is a good example that Congress electing not just president but electing congressmen and senators is even more important and consequential, because our senators and our congresspeople literally House of Representatives literally passed this bill without even looking at this particular provision, and it's so irresponsible. One of the other examples of the irresponsibility of these senators is that, the solar tax, whatever energy excise tax in the Senate version, guess what? Nobody knows who put it in there. Reporters were trying to get to the bottom, like, what to put in the provision of adding a tax to the solar industry. And the senators being interviewed goes, it's not me. We don't know how it got in there. So 1,000-page legislation, there are provisions that just got put in there, maybe by a rogue clerk or something, LA or something like that.
Could have been Marshall's little brother. I'm joking, but I'm joking about that. But it could have been somebody on that level. Thank you, Ben. I gotta move on because. I gotta move on.
I think this is actually very important.
Go look it up and get back to us, please. Elmer, you get the last word.
The bill is an abomination, and cutting health care for American citizens is terrible, but Gary, Republicans will win the midterm elections, and the reason Republicans win is basically because of the people in this room, whom are kind, educated people, but they have altruism and empathy for illegal immigrants, and spends $7 billion to give free health care to illegals, supported by the people in this room. And I will tell you, Gary, in my opinion...
How do you know how people in this room feel about these various issues? There are a lot of people in the room. What do you talking about?
Allow me, and then you can criticize. I believe, Gary, respectfully, the people you socialize with are highly educated.
How do you know who I socialize with?
I'm making an assumption that you associate
yes, you are.
People.
Yes, you are.
Okay, so I'll finish briefly, Gary. The educated people in America feel altruism and empathy towards illegals. That's why the state of California spends $7 billion a year giving free health care to illegals. And that's why many illegals were given a lot of free stuff the past few years. The people who are kind and altruistic may love giving free shit to illegals, and Democrats are welcome to run on a platform of giving more free shit to illegals. But my humble opinion is, if you get out there and if you talk to the average American person of all races who did not go to college, There is near universal agreement among people that didn't go to college that the government should stop giving free clothes now.
And all these cuts are just going to affect illegal immigrants, but not going to affect grandma and grandpa.
No, that's not what I said. What I said is the bill sucks, and I think it was unethical. But I'm asking you why the Democrats would lose. The Democrats lose because the even today continues to ask for free shit for illegals. Specifically, Gary, you're welcome to Google this and see for yourself. If you Google it, even today, the government of California is voting to give free healthcare to illegals. So I predict, you may not want to hear this badly, because giving free shit to illegals is so hated that it will overcome people's unhappiness at the horrible cuts to American citizens.
And why would I not want to hear that argument? A lot of assumptions here. Why would I not want to hear that argument, Elmer?
I don't think you want to hear an argument because you feel altruism and empathy towards illegals yourself. That is my opinion of you.
I'm so happy you are in such a good position to tell me who I am. Thank you, Elmer. I appreciate that. So I'm a very empathetic person. Did you hear that, ladies? I'm a very empathetic person. The kind of guy you want, at least as a friend. Folks, we're here Monday through Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. New York time. So until 5 p.m. New York time tomorrow for the next edition of the Critical Thinking Forum. Everybody be safe, be well, and peace out.
This to another country is difficult because women are very free here. Now, that I didn't say they didn't get murdered. I didn't say nothing like that. I'm saying that here women have more choices. You can, and you have people to enforce that. If you go to the cops, they're gonna enforce it. Out there, they go to the cops, and the shit, nothing happens. So I'm saying there's no hold the person that's doing something to females accountable. That's the only thing I was saying. But that kind of probably fucked up.
So, or he shouldn't be held accountable?
No, I never said that. I just was asking Mel, did she think that he would be held accountable? She said she wants him to get 15 years, and
15, maybe 5.
Diesel,
I did.
Are you wearing a bracelet or something? What is that noise? That noise that it sounds like scraping
I
or
like
something.
it. I like it.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
my bad. That's my mic is close to my little necklace. I'm
I don't know
sorry.
what
Oh,
you're
I don't like
I knew it was something. My spidey sense. Okay.
I thought it was like you had beads on or something. Go ahead.
They might have been waiting.
Nah, 'cause you hella crazy. Nah, First Lady, man. I got a reminder of why I should always be cool in a situation on a necklace. That's all.
Oh, that's awesome.
The first one.
Do you like waist beads, Diesel?
I think they cool on certain people.
Not about for yourself.
I know you trolling. It's all good. I'm gonna let you have it. I'm gonna let you have that.
I'm just playing, girl. I'm
I
sorry.
like this.
It's okay. It's all good. I like to have conversations. You feel me? So it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Mel, you don't mind if I drop my link in your chat, do you?
I had to go on mute real quick because I barely got that out. I'm just messing with
I
you.
have I have a podcast myself.
You have a podcast
Yes, ma'am.
outside of Clubhouse?
Well, I have one that I do on Clubhouse too, so I got more
So
than
you
one.
want to drop your Clubhouse?
And I was just asking Mel, you know, you know what I'm saying, because I do like to talk and I like to answer and I like shit. I like stuff like this.
Okay, but I'm just trying to figure out which link you're trying to drop.
Yeah, that was the link I was talking about.
Your Clubhouse link?
Nah, my YouTube link.
Oh, okay. All right, go ahead, bro. to none there.
First Lady, you sound like you want to be on the podcast.
Hey,
It's fine. She could be.
CEO, where'd you get that from?
You could be too. CEO, I do want
I got a lot of interest in it.
No,
There it is.
Mel wasn't here to have the conversation, and I wanted to know what kind of link he was dropping in the chat. So I was asking questions. CEO, you need to pay attention.
There you go,
I was paying attention to your curiosity. There's a lot of it.
the CEO, you're a congressman. Goodness, you being interrupted by another bike. He was interrupting me. Kidding. I'll go mute.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I want, you guys are talking?
I was asking CEO, quick question.
Daryl,
You're a
yeah, I think
congressman. Would you have voted for the big, beautiful bill?
No, I wouldn't vote for it right now. I still have a couple of major issues with it.
Yeah.
What are the two major issues for it?
The Medicare, and then it adds too much to the debt overall.
Medicaid, food stamps, health care, the work requirement, like y'all are out of your damn minds. How you gonna tell people who are 55 to 65 that they have to work 40 hours a week even if they have a disability just to get some fucking health care? Come on. Come on.
Do you have a disability, unless you can.
I mean, it was good they removed the AI part from it, though, Matt. That part was.
Yeah, so I just want to say something about Remy Ma. I don't know if anybody knows. The courtyard? The court? Yes. What the hell
Did she
was wrong?
fight?
I don't know.
This was recording the girl.
Right. Yeah, but it doesn't. Down there, like, she
Wait, can you play it?
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna play it right now. So obviously, for anybody that doesn't know, her son is being charged for murder. He had a court appearance today. Remy Ma's outside. The daughter of the guy that passed away is also outside. And I'm gonna play it for you.
And remember that I told y'all Remy don't have accountability, but go ahead.
That's it, guys.
Yeah, that was all in front of the courthouse too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Is the daughter Dominican or something? She sounds like she got a little accent.
Nah, I
think
seen a
she's from
photo.
New York.
She look black. Yeah, she look black.
That's just that New York feistiness right there.
Yes, with a louder voice was the daughter. And then Remy was, had a lower voice.
Because the daughter,
She jumped off the stairs. She was like, stairs, Remy. I'm like, Remy, what are you doing?
the daughter is the one who I saw recording. I didn't see the Remy recording. I saw her pointing our camera at her, but I saw the recording from the daughter's perspective.
Okay, you see the opposite angle. Okay.
Oh, so Remy's angle was out there.
Remy had her phone out too,
I
and
know, I saw that. That's what I'm
and
saying.
she went down the stairs like, come on, let's go around the corner. I'm like, what are you doing?
Damn, Remy is like 43 or something, man. This shit
I'm
is
like,
crazy, bro.
You in the public, every fucking body knows you. You a felon. You did a bit already. You taking out cameras. They're gonna take out cameras. You in front of the courts there for your son that has a murder charge. Like, I don't get it. I don't.
She's still on parole, do you know?
Nah, her parole finished already.
That is wild though. And the son seemed just so cool. Like I remember seeing the son on Love and Hip Hop. I don't know if it was before she went to jail or what, but
No, it was when she got out.
okay, yeah, I remember seeing the son. He seemed just like a normal dude. Like, it's crazy, boy. This world is a fool.
Mind you, don't forget, she's a grandma. Her son has a baby.
Oh, damn, I didn't know that either.
Yep, she a whole grandma. I think her grandson like 2 years old.
And how old is the baby?
No, he's like 2 years old, the grandson.
No, I'm saying how old
He's
is
in
her
his
baby?
20s. He's like, oh, her daughter, she's probably like 5 or 6.
Oh, so she older than, okay.
Yeah. I think she like just graduated from pre-K, if I'm not mistaken.
Child, I've quit coding. I don't want to start no mess, but I do remember a couple of ladies in here said if their friends stole from Remy mom, they
was gonna blow them away.
Exactly.
Girl, lie to me. The shit her friend did. You don't think that goddess? You cannot.
Nah, I definitely wasn't shooting nobody.
I'm not shooting.
Oh yeah, I would have whipped that bitch's ass.
And look, Keto, for the amount,
A beat that.
the amount that it was, come on. I mean, I understand the principles about it because if you're from the streets, principles and shit, but where is your coach? Where's your handler? Where's the person that's supposed to? When you get money, I thought you get them type of things. Like the people tell you, like, hey, man, you tripping, bro. But, all right.
I mean, and my thing is, I still don't agree with her shooting her, but I do understand that some things could happen in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, but it was an accidental shooting, and then she tried to make it seem like she was trying. What did she do? She tried to get her on attempted murder.
Oh, damn, it was accidental. I thought she did that shit on purpose.
I didn't just pull out no gun and say bow, bow, bow. That's not what happened.
I'm not saying she just pulled out a gun. They might have had a conversation, but I thought she shot her on purpose, though.
I would have beat your ass after the fact. I would have got her in prison and probably went right back to prison and beat your ass.
But that's the thing. Like, what bothered me, it was that when she found out that her best friend couldn't have children as a result of the gunshot. Even if it was an accident, Remy did not express any remorse whatsoever. She still was calling her all types of B's. And I was just like, Remy, where's your humanity? Like,
she tried to get her in prison for life. Come on now.
But she did it. She wasn't.
The case didn't go the way she wanted it to go.
Yeah, her friend wasn't cool if she stole the money, dog.
Okay,
but even if she did, like,
let's pretend she did. You go and confess or whatever, and you try to act like I fucking tried to murder you when you know it was an accidental shooting.
I mean,
I think I'm supposed to have sympathy for you and your. Look, I could feel bad that you're in a situation, but I'm not gonna sit here and be in your face, and we're not gonna be nice.
Damn, though, P, is you my best friend? You my bestie?
Why my bestie try to get me? Why my bestie try to act like I tried to murder her?
But you did shoot me, though.
I mean,
accidental shooting.
I don't see, Patty. That's a different understanding than what I had.
But we read it in the room that day, Dr. Goddess. So that's not.
I know. I'm just saying that from that day. Like I had never heard that it was an accidental shooting.
Yeah, but when we talked about it in the room and we read it in the room, you was like, oh, I thought. I was like, yeah, maybe it was. For her to fucking try to press the fact that you try to act like I try to murder you, that's something else.
I mean, I don't know. It seemed like, so here's the thing. After all those years, for her to still not express any remorse over anything, I'm like, Remy, I'm not exactly sure about like your moral compass. That's my thing. That's my thing. I'm just not understanding. And like, I just don't, like, even if, like, the friend is definitely wrong, for stealing the money, but, like, can't you understand in general that, like, you having a lot of money Well, y'all said that Remy said that she also helped her before. So I mean, maybe I just don't have enough details. But I'm just
So you
saying.
think Remy was rich back then too?
Not rich, but I mean, to be able to carry like thousands of dollars in your purse, that's like a significant difference between the average person and, you know, somebody that's making records or whatever.
And she had that conceded out, right? So she was on her way to rich, because that song did very well.
But I'm just saying, Remy's wild. And anytime I hear about Remy being wild, I'm never surprised.
My whole thing is the way that she treating a guy that stood tall through it all with her, went to jail for bringing her shit in jail, and now because you didn't do what you were supposed to do and you took yourself elsewhere, now it's his fault. That shit's like crazy.
But you know what? I'm now considering that to be karma for y'all. Because y'all done seen so many women hold it down for these brothers, and the brothers come out and, you know, disrespect. So now, you know, get a taste of your own medicine. Ain't nobody gonna feel sorry for you. Although I do love Papoose.
Damn, that it's okay. I can understand. I hear you, but damn, that was a one-off. You can't give him a one-off.
Because I mean, it's great what he did, but I mean, women do that all the time. So I just don't understand why he's so special. You know.
Damn, that is crazy, Sonny. It's good though. I mean, it is what it is. You feel me? I mean, shit. Damn, I might have to talk about this on my next podcast because this is crazy.
Trying to find out what really happened. Was it a true accidental shooting, or did Remy really mean it? How does the friend feel? You know, go into it.
Yeah,
at this point, that shit was years ago.
I mean, but what if the friend don't feel like the shooting was accidental? And then if I pulled out a gun on you though, like if I pulled out a gun on you and it go off, how many accidents? I just don't know if we could call that accidental too, Pete. I'm just saying, big dog.
I stole from me. Like, it's not like I just got mad. Like, I had a bad day. So, no, you shouldn't be calling the police. I didn't call the police on you. And you're still alive.
Now, I thought that one of the details that was unveiled from our previous conversation on here was that did the gun stay in the purse? Was there like a tussle over the purse and then the gun happened to go off? Like that's
what happened. The gun was in the purse and it accidentally went off. That's exactly what happened. But then her friend tried to act like it was freaking attempted murder.
Okay.
Oh wow. Okay. Now that's different.
But yeah, you got to get into these details, Diesel, because I mean we got to get to the bottom.
For real, Doc, I'm ready to talk to Gemini. You see, he knows some shit.
Oh man.
Yeah, he knows some shit. This shit great.
What is Pete?
Diesel, who is he? Are you talking about AI?
Yes. Yeah, I'm just talking.
Your AI is a he?
I mean, it just has a male's voice, but I'm pretty sure I can make it a female's voice, but I just say because the first voice I heard was a dude voice.
What you talking about, Willis?
If I had Siri, I would call it her, but I got Gemini though.
I'm crying. I thought he was talking about our Gemini.
Yeah, so Remy's son. Yeah, go ahead. Remy's son, Diva. Yeah, so he's being charged for. He has like 3 different charges, but obviously the first one is first degree murder. They are saying that he shot a 47-year-old in front of John F. Kennedy Airport. And that's why you see his daughter is older, because dad was 47.
Oh, okay.
And this happened on June 7th, 2021.
Oh, so he just now getting a trial. Okay, that makes sense too. Yeah, that makes sense. That's crazy though. If you shoot somebody in front of an airport, is that premeditated? Like, damn, or did we just get into an accident, argument? And
Yeah, they're saying that they feel like it was a hit, that he was hired.
Oh.
That hit. And he also had somebody with him. He had also another kid with him that by the name of Richard that's also being charged, but his charges are not here. I don't see his charges.
And that's a fed crime, right, Mel?
I don't know why, because it happened in front of the airport?
Yeah, because airport is federal, unless they weren't, because there's like that area around the airport that's considered federal.
Yeah. Yeah, it says first degree murder, weapon possession, reckless endangerment. Those are the 3 charges.
Is the case the state versus or?
I don't see that.
Okay.
Damn, that should have been one of the first things.
They're in Queens County. They're in Queens County.
Oh, so that sounds.
That's Queens Criminal Court.
Yeah, that sounds state. That sounds like some state shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I forgot to.
Queens County, what, Maryland or New York?
No, that's New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was in front of a JFK airport. That's New York airport. What? We cannot.
I think he off. He don't know if he off mic probably.
Oh, what's your conspiracy theory?
He off something. I don't know if there's something. He's off that mushroom. No, he's on that mushroom.
I'm just running errands and shit, but I'm about to get onto some mushrooms. Now, there ain't no conspiracy. It's just the fact that they didn't pull up the charges on the minors, to me, is the biggest red flag on all this. I don't feel like they really want him. I feel like it's not that I feel. He's been an informant. He's been a federal informant his entire life, like his father. So it's
What are we talking about?
Are we still talking about Diddy?
No.
Oh, my shit.
No way.
Say, whoa.
No, we're talking about Remy Ma's son.
My bad. I just got here. My bad.
Okay, we're talking about Remy Ma's son. What the hell?
But you hear how he
Spend him for 50 cents. We'll spend him for
What the
50
hell,
cents.
Gary?
50 cents.
What the hell y'all take?
50 cents.
First Lady.
But you know that guy, if you think that guy Richard didn't snitch her son out already, yeah, I got something coming to y'all, because I'm sure he read it already, so he could get less time.
Exactly.
Yep.
You know what's so crazy? On Love and Hip Hop, she always talks to the kids about how she hates guns because of what happened. And you know, for Dr. Goddess, when you keep saying that she doesn't regret, she talks about she regrets what happened that day all the time. She said it on the first show. She said it on Love and Hip Hop. Plenty of times when she talks to the kids about guns.
Well, why didn't she say it to her? For what? You see how much stuff you get. But you need to put me up on a hurdle. Like, what the hell? What the hell is? After you get really married? She put her friend up on a murder. What's going on?
Yeah, you trying to frame me and you want me to go, girl, back.
Okay.
I mean, okay, she walked the gun to her best friend, right? So if it went off, it went off. But
I carry a gun. And if it accidentally go off and you motherfucker said I tried to,
man,
we got a problem.
Shit, see, fucking with me, you would have ran into the right one. You know what I'm saying? That would have been, see, Remy friend was supposed to be, but really, she probably only thought that they was gonna talk about it or whatever thing, because
Nigga,
the friend denied stealing.
You stealing from me? I don't care if
The friend denies the stealing allegations, though. So how do we know you didn't get drunk and and leave your 3,500 because I think it was only that much or less than that. It could have been less than that.
It was. I'm still. You know what? I never checked up on the details, even from our clubhouse conversation. I didn't go back and like reread anything or look into anything. So I'm still a little blurry on it. Maybe that's why I still feel the way I do. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, because you know, I would even have a question as to how did you get into a push and pull? How did we even mistakenly, you know, get to the gun? You know, shot. Like there was something about it that I don't remember the details, so I just need to stop talking about it for right now until I do. But there was something about it, about the. But I'm just saying, like, if you expressing, I take issue with her. You know, you're gonna tell the whole world how you feel bad about it, but you're not gonna talk to me. And I was there, even if I was your former best friend, you know, you can still be like, you know, you really pissed me off. I really didn't appreciate that. Like, I gave everything to you. What was mine was yours. You know, I was with you. I mean, I just don't understand how you.
What am I talking about? I did time.
Yeah, and I can't have any children because of where you shot me. So like we both suffered here.
No, you stole from me and we got in a tussle.
Yeah, and as a result, so here's
Sonny, though, did she prove that she stole? Because the friend still denies it. That's what I mean. I could deny whatever, but if you got proof of me doing it, then I can understand that. I haven't never seen Remy come with the proof from it, so I don't know if she really stole from her or not.
It don't matter whether she got the proof that she stole.
Damn, I just couldn't accuse you of stealing, Doc. You my best friend. You my best friend. You my best friend. I'm gonna accuse you of stealing, and then you gonna end up shot when we talk about it.
I feel like you think I stole. I feel like the fact that you took the case to the police shows me your character. So yeah, you stole. I believe you did it.
That she took the what? The what?
The fact that she went to the police about it, trying to say I shot her on purpose.
Yeah.
I feel like, what do you think?
Wait. So the ambulance didn't come?
She could have said it was an accident, but she didn't. She said you did it on purpose. She could have said, oh my God, this was an accident. She didn't intend to shoot me. This is what happened.
Right.
But she didn't. She was like, yeah, that hoe tried to kill me.
Yeah.
Right. Peace saying she tried to frame her in court to make it look like that's what happened too. So, I mean, I can understand.
Here's the thing. So if Remy Ma was cussing her out, right? The fuck you trying to steal from me? You know, So, like, how was she supposed to determine that it was an accident?
Because Remy ain't draw down on her. It would be one thing if she drew down on her. She ain't draw down on her. She ain't threatening her with the she'd be like,
How'd she get shot? How did she get shot?
So Remy had a gun on her. They were tussling over the purse. When they were tussling over the purse, the gun accidentally went off.
So the friend knows she got a gun then.
So this is what I'm saying, Patty. I don't see, like, maybe I don't know guns, and I'm sure in some ways I don't. So a gun could go off if it's just being tussled inside of a purse, or did she have her finger on the trigger?
Depends on the gun.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you know what I realized? I don't believe that. I don't believe that it was an accident because of Remy's attitude. That's the thing. I'm realizing that. No, I mean, I'm just saying, like, because the first I heard that it might be an accident was from Patty on Clubhouse, you know, recently.
So
you actually followed.
Look in the chat. He said she pulled the gun.
Back then, or even read anything on the case, then you would have known it. That the argument in the court or during the case was that it was an accidental shooting. If you knew what was going on with the case, you would have known that. Because what she got charged with was assault. What was it? Assault. It was something else.
Yeah, I don't think that I looked into.
Discharge, illegal discharge of a firearm, probably.
Yeah, I
Wait, so if you look in the chat, agents say she pulled the gun.
Why you listening to him in the chat? Agent, you can't believe that he said.
Oh, okay.
Like, for real, he's not even in the state.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, come on.
Don't judge Agent. He said
Agent Lang is in the States. What y'all talking about? I'm just messing. I know that's Ryan.
Oh wait, Mel.
We're not listening to Agent. We're not listening to Agent. You better listen to what these women is telling you. Don't listen to Agent. That's how y'all go wrong. So you listen to them.
You know what?
Right. And wait a minute. He didn't even say what you said. He said, you pull a gun on me, you're going to jail. He didn't say that she did pull the gun.
It does say that. It says she pulled the gun. It does say that. Damn, I ain't that slow.
He didn't comprehend.
I ain't that slow.
No. He's right. He's right, Doctor.
Damn, that's crazy.
He said, Lane says, you pull a gun on me, you're going to jail. If you make it there. She pulled the gun. Florida is not the state, so I don't know. So there's evidence that she pulled the gun out. Lane don't know what he's
No
talking
evidence.
about. Agent
Pulled the gun out.
Go ahead, Agent Lane.
The only evidence they have is that there was a gun and there was a tussle for the purse when the gun went off.
Lane don't know what he's talking about. Go ahead, Lane. Go ahead, Lane.
Did she get charged with attempted murder?
Hold on. So, wait, I mean, this is like, y'all left a detail. One second, y'all left out a detail that Remy Ma knew she was shot and fled the scene.
Yeah, she did.
I just have one question. And no, I'm not familiar with the case. I just have one question. Was the gun inside the purse when it went off?
They never said if it was inside the purse.
They said it was. I thought they said it was. I thought so too. It's my belief it was.
But I don't see how the gun could go off if it was inside the purse and just being tussled.
This one, I mean, all the guns say people. So we need to have more. Right.
Ask Gemini. He'll tell you.
What kind of purse was it, and what kind of gun? Because if it's a clutch and a semi, I could see how that could happen.
You know what though?
If it's a bolsa bag and a gun, like that's different. Like you need. Why I act like I'm a criminal? I don't know.
Well, anything, mostly anything can cover.
Jury didn't find her guilty for. They didn't find her guilty for attempted murder.
Right, but they probably charged her with that. They probably charged her with the attempt, but I mean, a lot of things you get charged with at the end, the charges get rearranged so they can find you guilty of something.
So I'm not of the presumption that she intentionally tried to kill.
Okay, whatever.
Let me just say this. My assumption was that she pulled the gun out of the bag. That was the first assumption. So if there's information that disproves that, then I can understand. But I mean, traditionally, you take the gun out, you reach for the gun. Where I'm from, you're dead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of playing, but it does depend, because if the gun got a quick trigger, if she ain't had the safety on, and it's juggling around in the bag, depending on what's in the bag.
Something could have got in there.
Like a something as simple as a lipstick, please, a lighter,
all that type
and
of shit. A pen, anything.
Yeah, so depending on the trigger weight and all that, I could see how that could happen.
So guess what? So you were right, Dr. A.G. So her charges, I Googled it, was attempted murder, assault, criminal weapons possession, attempted coercion, and what she was actually found guilty of was attempted coercion, and it says for using threats to retrieve the money that she believed was stolen, criminal weapon possession, legally having an unlicensed firearm, and assault because she was convicted on the charge related to the shooting. Attempted murder was dropped. Yeah. But the 3 was attempted coercion for threatening her when she thought she stole money and criminal weapons possession and assault.
Yeah, they figured out they couldn't get her for attempted murder, so they dropped her shit to assault or whatever.
Do it. Or maybe they figured out she didn't do it.
Wait, nah, they didn't figure that out because she would have got out free. She did, what, 7 years for that shit?
They didn't charge her. They didn't charge her with the
Right.
But Dr. AT, probably because it was too argumentative in court, right? It's just too difficult.
Right, it was too hard to prove, but she just told you they charged her with it. They just didn't prove it and convict her.
Question in your listening comprehension. I said on the murder, you was like, they couldn't figure out how to convict her. I was like, well, maybe they determined she didn't do it. That's a court finding.
But that's not what that means, though. It just means they could have meant that they just didn't think they had a strong enough case. They think she did it, but they didn't think they could prove it in court.
They didn't convict her.
Prosecutors,
So,
Dr. AT, all the
jury
time.
didn't convict. Oh my God. Okay.
Oh, you saw. So wait. So you're saying that they tried her on that charge?
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
That's
she
what I'm
got
trying
tried on
to
attempted
explain.
murder.
Yeah, and it said the jury did not find any evidence to prove an intent to kill.
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not like it was some trick they couldn't prove. Like, ooh, they let her go because they couldn't figure out how to convict her. Like they.
Oh no! What I mean by they couldn't prove the murder and they give you a lesser charge is that most of the time, okay, when you get to the end and they start reading off what happened.
That's not what happened, though. The jury said that they couldn't find her guilty.
Of that charge.
Right. The jury found Remy guilty
I
of
want
assault.
all of y'all to get off drugs.
It says the jury found Remy guilty of assault, not attempted murder, indicating that they believe she caused harm and not that she meant to kill.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, but if you apply that logic to what's his name?
And there was witnesses that said they were struggling for that person. So even when she left the scene, there was a whole bunch of people out there. There's a whole lot of witnesses.
Yeah, the make her
She
sound
wasn't gonna get away with it in the first place.
She fled because she had that illegal gun. She's like, fuck.
And scared. You know, like, that's scary. When she
probably ain't never shot nobody before. It's different from going to the gun range. That's most definitely for real.
So now, if the person had died, would that have been involuntary manslaughter?
Probably, because they probably wouldn't have been able to prove like murder 1 or 2 in that case.
Yeah, and that's why I feel so bad about it. I mean, why would you reach for a gun with a friend? That's messed up shit.
She did, but we just said she didn't reach for the gun.
Well, no, you didn't prove. No, you did not prove that she did not. You said she was not
They
proving
were
that was
tussling over the purse.
Why were they tussling over the purse?
The purse, right?
Why were they tussling over the purse?
She had her money in the purse.
But the point is, she did not pull the gun out at the person.
You do not know that.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
This is the story. This is the storyline. So what had happened was, Remy Ma said, "My money gone," right? She tried to check the purse, and they're fighting over the purse, going back and forth, and the gun goes off.
Oh, so she tried to. So the friend had the gun. Oh wow, that is
going on.
Yeah, first lady, with all due respect, first lady, there's a gap in that story the size of the Brooklyn Bridge.
The people
hey,
here said
she went to jail.
Oh my God.
jail.
This is why I need some of
Other things. It's okay. Just calm down. It's alright.
Oh my God.
Did I make that story up?
It's dramatic.
Did I make that story up, Patty?
You made a story. You made a story. You told a narrative with a lot of missing information.
She's
So what's the missing information?
Patty read the facts from the thing.
That's not facts. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, I don't even.
That came from the
So it's
right. I don't even care at this point.
Oh, no, I don't need to be right. But I mean,
correct. You guys are correct.
You're right.
Yo, Diddy shot that girl. Stop. Y'all acting up.
Y'all stupid. Diddy shot that girl.
From the jury finding, and they said that's not a fact.
no, that's why is this happening? I mean, I'm not an idiot. I heard exactly what she said, and I can tell you why. That's not what it's a fact. I mean, do you want me to explain why it's not a fact?
No, I
really don't care because you said we already said you were right. So what's next for you?
Yeah, so you win.
It's not about me.
Damn,
You know, everybody, you're playing their feelings right now. So I'm just gonna stop.
So what's next for you?
Yeah, stop, agent.
What do you
Pee
want
on
to do? You
you.
just want to keep talking? Is that what it is? You just want to keep arguing?
You see P hanging off the side of that cliff, man. Hey, just leave her alone, man. Go ahead.
I don't understand some of y'all. If we already said you won, you're right. Oh yeah, you're right. What, you still want to argue a point after we said you're right? What's wrong?
Because he knew he was being disingenuous.
Yo, and that's it.
He just wanted to be more right.
You know what? I don't want to say anything I'm going to regret, so have a great evening, ladies.
Bye.
Damn, agent, you give up like that? You don't... Oh, my bad, y'all.
They're not helping you, though.
I know I'm not. I'm just trolling a little bit now. Because that was funny, real. It was funny. Damn, my bad, dog.
Because you making the situation worse, sir. Worse. It wasn't even bad, but you made it worse, sir.
Worse. That was my word when I was a kid.
Worse.
I used to get in trouble.
The worstest.
Hey, Dr. AG, do you get mad when you hear people say conversate?
Oh my God, yeah. But you know, I just let them live because it is now an accepted fact for me. So I just let them live.
Yeah, and converse is so much harder to say.
It's so much difficult. It's so much more difficult to leave off a syllable than it is to add one. You add a whole one, like converse. That's it. But no, you gotta go 8. Conversate. You gotta add.
Right, you know that's true.
That's so much easier adding than subtracting. I get it.
Mine is regardless or irregardless.
Oh, my irregardless,
Yeah.
I can't take.
My grandfather was an English professor, so growing up, yeah.
My other one, the other one that I just, I grit my teeth, is when they say, I couldn't care less. I could care less. Yeah, I could care less. The expression is I couldn't, but they'll say, I could care less. Care less. Okay, well, I'm going to keep going because I want you to care less. Exactly. What is going on? Yes, I couldn't care less. Yeah, that one gets me too.
But I do like the little saying, say less.
I do like that too. Hey, relax.
My dad had a saying, be smart, be dumb.
That sounds a little dumb. I'm sorry, I gotta say. Be smart. Oh, like you don't get smacked in the mouth for being smart.
Yeah, because sometimes when you be smart, like you're really dumb. You know, you trying too hard and it ain't working.
It was don't show them all your hand. Keep self back.
Oh, so
I always say supposedly. And my mom be like, supposed.
Yeah. Dr. AG, don't come to Miami because we really don't know how to speak down there. So I messaged you something in your back channel. I messaged Gemini too, but I don't see him up here. So.
He was in IGB.
No, Sue.
Gemini was at IGB going off on what's that? Thug Bully.
Yeah. It's not safe in these clubhouse streets.
Yo, Thug Bully is so annoying.
What happened with Thug Bully? I hate him.
It's so annoying. He's like, I could kill somebody and I'm gonna say I'm innocent to the end. Who's gonna say guilty?
You think he Donald Trump?
I hate him and Bullis Gotti.
He was twirling last night on the stage.
Wait, what?
In here?
I'm sorry. No, over there where you was at.
Oh, yeah.
But you remember when I pulled you to a private to send you that paperwork?
Yes.
Yeah, I be there. You just don't see me. I'm like, I'm like a fly on the wall.
Anonymous sitting here talking about thumbs down. Do you see that?
Come this way. Go in.
Do you see the anonymous account that say thumbs down?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I think that was somebody else. Come on. Roy, you come up here, buddy. Come on. Relax. Come on in. Come on.
I told you in the chat, I want to conversate with you all, but I could care less.
Is that a triple?
Oh, I didn't see that.
So they said that somebody called the police on that dude that be streaming all the rooms on YouTube.
Yeah.
Hey, cutie.
Somebody called
They called the police on him?
Yeah, I do.
How are you?
People really.
End of the conversation.
They should, because the amount of devices he has, they should call the police on him.
I'm gonna call the police and tell them I'm scared because I am scared. This dude is
Not nothing, but yesterday you seen the shadow, his hand, he's on the phone. He's like, you could see the shadow of his hands moving on the phone.
Yeah, it's looking real cold, right?
Yeah, I was checking his hands to make sure he wasn't jerking off to our pictures. But he wasn't. Looked like he was texting. Oh, Patty, I was telling First Lady that you know what? When today when he did lives, he's scrolling it up. He's scrolling the stage up so that you don't see the house name and the topic.
He's great.
I noticed that.
Scared of him.
He's crazy. That's the type of men that come out on January 6th.
Oh, he was definitely out there.
They plot. Oh yes, he was. You didn't see those flags in the background and all that stuff? They plot, and then they show up with their guns. He looks like he's cuckoo, like the cuckoo clock from the Martin show.
Town hall is tonight. If you haven't already, go ahead and submit your emails to clubhouse.com.
Yeah, I'm not gonna submit multiple. You guys did it already. The questions.
Tell them how
Yeah, that was enough.
anonymous picture is.
So yeah, I asked about having a 5-minute time limit. They can maintain it, but a 5-minute time limit. And then I sent copies to Clubhouse of this guy's YouTube channel and what he's doing and the various accounts. That way they can at least look at this seriously. I even sent them his actual streaming page or his page so that they can at least see what he's doing. I was like, this is kind of ridiculous. He's crazy.
Yeah, I sent them screenshot photos and I sent them the 2 URL links from both YouTube channels. Because it's like, what are you trying to do? Like, why would you be recording for all these hours? Clearly, you don't have a fucking job. I told you I think he's a veteran because he had the veterans in the back.
Yeah, he might have like mental health issues.
They say he lies about a lot of his statuses.
Well, one thing we do know is his name. So I'm actually gonna. I think maybe I should call the police and get a report on him. That way, when he's in this room, at least I have something.
Yeah, send the Chicago PD over there so they can handle him.
So what you're saying is I can't messenger him a scrambler to his place? I can't do that? No? Scramble of all the signals while he's online. Like,
Tell JD to call Chicago PD on him.
That's a fact.
Because it says that he's trying to run for congressman, so somebody gotta know him.
He already lost. Sorry, he already lost.
Yeah, but that means they know him.
Yeah, and I wrote an email to Clubhouse, and I told them like they need to do something about that anonymous. It's not safe because people can be stalking, and a lot of people have like I don't have my picture anymore. Because I don't want them managing my picture. That's how come I'm a model for Virgin right now. But anyway, I told them like that's not safe. People can stalk, and they should at least give the admins of the house or the creators of the room removal. Like you should be able to remove the person anonymous. But we'll see what they say.
At least they have it so the block works even if the person is on there anonymous.
But you gotta know who they are.
It can't be somebody who already have blocked. Like they can't use it to come free.
Right. But but you can have like these weirdos that follow you on weirdos.
And look at the political climate. I mean, people are out here getting shot and assassinated. This is not cool at all.
Right. Yeah, did y'all hear about the people that, the firefighters that were shot and the guy who shot them?
Yeah.
Was mad. That his parents were mad at him.
Briefly.
See?
Yeah, he did something crazy.
But something was off with him though.
Well,
But something's off with all of these people.
No, but I mean like, cause
they said that he wanted to be like a fire.
right.
And he wanted to be a firefighter. And what he did was he started like a brush fire in the forest, leading them to the forest. And they didn't make anything of it because it was like a brush fire. And that's when he started sniping them.
But they asked him to leave. He was at the scene of the fire, and they asked him to move his vehicle, and that's when he started shooting. So he did engage. They engaged him. And
That's like it's a setup.
But the grandfather said, they were saying it was an ambush, but the granddaddy said he thinks like because he wanted to be a firefighter and he couldn't be one like that. That just kind of, he felt disrespected by them, further disrespected by them. So he decided he was going to shoot him up or whatever. I don't know. The whole story sounds crazy. But mostly these stories, when they first come out, they're always crazy. Until you get, they can do some investigative. Good job. Sorry.
Did he make a good coup?
He did.
Have you heard the stories
Have
you heard the stories that he was born in Russia? Am I the only one who? Is that just?
Oh, I never heard that.
No. I just, I be ending on the Hindu Times and shit like that sometimes.
I read that. I get the India. It's like an Indian paper.
What? Like, why do I get that?
India time.
I'm like, I don't want that. They were talking about that he was born in Russia. I'm like, I don't think so. Like,
that could be all though. I don't know what they be doing in India. Sometimes it be good.
But why do I get it at the first top of my freaking Google search?
Do you have Apple News? Do you have Apple News?
Yeah, that's what I use.
I don't.
You don't? Oh,
Just sign up for
because
that.
I was gonna say it might be because you have Apple News. Because
I love Apple.
Because I have Apple News and I go in there and they have all kinds of stuff. If you click on it like once, then it'll,
Wait, so I just have New York Times, right? So should I just, does Apple News include New York Times in it?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it
you have
tells you
Apple
to,
News.
on Apple,
But if you don't have a subscription, but if you don't have a subscription, you can't read the New York Times articles. But New York Times is included in Apple.
Right. Yeah, it'll tell you the publication and where it's all coming from, the source. And I mean, I pretty much have the same like few sources, Bloomberg, New York Times, and such. And it just consistently has that on my, what do you call that thing? Your
Like your For You page or whatever, like your landing page?
No, your
Newsfeed?
Yeah, your newsfeed, but there's another word. Never mind. I can't think right now.
Yeah, Apple News doesn't come with Wordle, so they can forget about
It doesn't come with what?
Wordle.
But you can get Wordle. You just have to get New York
And
Times.
I need like a separate app. I'm not doing all that.
Or you could just get the New York Times. And you can
Yeah, I have the New York Times. That's something like I got.
I take Wordle every day.
And Wordle all in one place. What's your first word that you use?
I use different ones. I don't play like that. I use whichever, like, I'm feeling.
Oh no, I always use like the same 3 words.
Yeah, a lot of people do. And sometimes I get it on the first word.
Oh wow.
I've gotten it on the first word before. Is that fucking... Why did I put my tape in? There's some girl on roller skates. What the hell is going on? What the hell? Oh, that ain't it.
What the heck, girl?
I'm about to call his mama. And be like, what is Taven doing out here with this girl in roller skates? Okay.
Girl, wow. Y'all, check this out. So when I grew up as a kid, right, we didn't do the Pledge of Allegiance. A lot of kids did not stand up during it. And they had right to. So some Palestinian American girl would not stand during the Pledge of Allegiance. Why? She was told she needs to go back to her country.
The kids told her that?
No,
the teacher.
The teacher.
But I thought they had religious exemptions for that in school.
Yeah, they said she refused to stand for herself. You know what? So everybody that went to school in New York, when they did the Pledge of Allegiance, a lot of kids did not stand up for that shit.
That's a fact.
They didn't even put their hand on their backpack.
The only time I did it was for kindergarten.
Right, when you was in elementary school, because you didn't. But then another kid, because I guess they had a woke parent that would be like, why you don't stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Because this country ain't for us. Oh, for real? I didn't have woke parents, I guess, because I didn't know. I think I stood for the Pledge of Allegiance, so I was probably in 3rd, 4th grade.
Yeah, everything changed for me after the movie Malcolm X, so
Well, you were super late then, so I guess I'll be.
Well, that's true. I think I was about 13, 12, 13 when that movie came out. Something.
But yeah. This is crazy. I'm reading this crazy article. It says, the father of a 14-year-old Michigan student is suing his daughter's school district and teacher on her behalf, alleging she was repeatedly humiliated and told to go back to her country when she refused to stand for or recite the Pledge of Allegiance. The complaint was filed Wednesday by ACLU, obviously, of Michigan and the Arab American Civil Rights League, acting for Jacob Khalif on behalf of his daughter, Danielle Khalif, who is a U.S. citizen of Palestinian descent. She was attending East Middle School in the Plymouth Canton Community School District at the time of the incident. According to the complaint, Danielle was protesting deaths in Gaza caused by Israel Defense Forces and the role of the U.S. government in the war, which she decided to remain seated for the Pledge of Allegiance for 3 days in January. Each time, her teacher disrupted the class to admonish her, telling her she was being disrespectful to the flag, U.S. military forces. Attorneys with the ACLU, Michigan, and the Arab American Civil Rights League said it was a violation of the student's First Amendment right to free speech and right to express her political views. After Danielle approached her teacher to speak to her privately regarding her reasons for protesting the Pledge of Allegiance, the teacher said, "Since you live in this country and enjoy its freedoms, if you don't like it, you should go back to yours." This is crazy.
I don't know. You gotta have a country. This is it. You have to have a country. You gotta pledge the flag.
So guess what? So I had to skip down. So the complaint states that the school district sent the teacher a corrective action notice regarding her comments expressing her belief as to why the students should stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, saying that they were in direct violation of what was discussed at the staff meeting following the students' first protest. It's disturbing that a teacher who is trusted to teach our children would succumb to such insensitivities to one of her students, knowing that the student is of Arab Palestinian descent, and knowing that many deaths overseas in Gaza of family members of Palestinians living in Metro Detroit, that she would add insult to injury to call the student out for simply exercising her constitutional right. So, obviously the school board knew about this. If they gave her this is crazy.
Yeah, I don't even
My daughter
know
not
this.
Palestinian. If she didn't stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance, I wish a motherfucker would. I did it when I was a kid. And that's after somebody else explained to me why they did it.
Yeah, that teacher can't be that insensitive and that, I'm trying to use better words. The teacher has to know that there's going to be some pushback on this. How can they not know that? I'm confused.
And one of the craziest things is they tell you that this is a free country for you to practice all the religions, all of this, all of that. You can be whatever the fuck you want to be. You can identify as a flag if you want to. And then they gonna do that to that girl.
You
Now,
can
that's
identify as a
wild.
flag.
I mean, I'm just saying you can, right? You can identify as whatever the fuck you want to right now. So that's crazy. Like, I don't even know why they would do that to her. And these people that fought and died for this, supposedly this liberty, and then they gonna do her like that? That's crazy.
I'm trying to tell you that you gotta have a country. Listen, you can practice any religion you want as long as it's Christian.
Yeah.
You can
Huh?
make any right you want to.
No, the cops haven't showed up yet. I bet you they're just like, there's nothing we can do about it, you know. Thank you for your call.
Are you scared?
Am I scared? No, I'm a public person, you know, like, I've got like an online public persona, so if they check me, they can say, oh, this guy's legitimately running for Congress and he's recording political content. You know, I don't think we're going to kick his door in because he's running as a Republican congressman. I mean...
No, I'm talking about these crazies out there.
Oh, there's crazies on the internet, but I mean, what can I say? You know? Somebody says on the YouTube chat, you're scared. I know. There's 18 people watching the live stream right now. But yeah, this guy Gogozy, and he said he called the police twice to report me.
Hello, this is the Chicago Police Department. How can we help you?
Yes, there's this crazy white man on YouTube, and he's recording all of these online political rooms.
Well, what are the political rooms talking about, sir?
Well, they're mostly communist, Democrat, Marxist, fascist, terrorist, subversive rooms.
Well, what do you want us to do for you, Matt, sir?
Well, I want you to arrest him, obviously. It's so ridiculous. People have anger management problems. That's what I think ultimately I'm teaching people, that they're powerless. They can't control their anger. It's kind of funny. It's like I'm a Socratic teacher just by default. Anyways. What else can I discuss with you? Because I'd like to get back to my recordings here.
Okay, I'll let you go. I'll see you later.
Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, because I just was listening to the guy that's running for president. President for the mayor of New York. He seems like a cool old guy, but I don't know him, so I don't want to say he's whatever.
He's a young guy. Yeah.
No, it's another dude. They just had him on Godfrey podcast. He's a.
You talking about Paul?
No, hell no. Cuomo's white. This is a guy, a black guy. An old black guy.
An old black guy. There's no old black guy running for mayor.
It definitely is. No, not Eric Adams either. It definitely is. I don't know his name, but he was on the last Godfrey. He was on the last Godfrey episode. Hold on, let me look on my Spotify it's not Adams though. He's independent. He's running independent.
He's going to be an attack
Did I get too much time today?
For the Jew.
Did I get too much time today, or was America founded on religious freedoms, not Christianity?
Yeah.
No, he was joking. It's founded on religious freedoms. You're right. He was joking, though, I think. Whoever said that.
She was not joking.
That was Ashton.
Oh, okay. My bad. I thought everybody was okay.
Well, I mean, they're right as far as that is concerned, because people have I was gonna get into that. Yes, people have the right to, worship whatever they would like. But I'm saying, as far as how America's constructed and all that kind of stuff, America, the way that it is, some of the bodies believe in Christianity. You know what I mean? We don't have a government religion, but when people think of America, they think of it as a Christian nation. Some people do that kind of stuff. Maybe not everybody, but there was a time that most people in surveys called themselves Christian, especially in the 80s and 50s. Today, that has tailed way off, that people nowadays do not associate themselves with most, if not any, religion. So there are some people who they don't associate with anything, and that has ballooned over the decades for whatever reason, and that was in various surveys too.
So Ty, you're talking about Michael Blake.
1776.
Wait, Ty, you're talking about Michael Blake, and he's 42, so he's not old. Is Ty still here? Go ahead, Sandra.
No, that was Diesel talking about the mayor. Is his name Dave Temple?
No, I think he's talking about Michael Blake, and he's 42. When he said some old guy, he's 42.
That was me who said the old guy is running for the mayor. Diesel. That's Diesel who said that.
Dido. Okay, so you're talking about Michael Blake, and he's 42 years old. So if you think that's
I'm older than him, so that's crazy.
He said an old guy.
Well, he looked older than me, so maybe his aesthetic is a little older than me then.
Maybe. Yeah, somebody was saying something about 1772. What did you say? 1772 and what?
I said, was that what the survey said, that the people were Christian in 1776? Because the reason they left England was to get away from
Christianity,
the religious
Catholic
crap
Church,
that they were doing over there.
and the taxes and shit.
To be free.
Well, yeah,
practice whatever religion they want to. But they still there are so many different religions here, girl. Please.
Well, yes, from England they still
What's the argument?
Well, she was saying from 1776. I'll have to look at a lot of records in that. I was just looking at ones from the 50s and 60s. I didn't go back that far, but back then, yes, the people escaped persecution under versions of Christianity, but even those who came to this country still peeled off versions of Christianity. It may not have been under the Catholic faith of the way they did it in England, but they fled that because it was so oppressive, whereas versions of Christianity today allow you to worship the way you want, and you have different denominations that have branched off of that kind of stuff. So, Catholics and others, Protestants and all that other kind of stuff, it still is under, kind of that Christian type realm. So that's what I think about it in this country when it comes to religion and how it's kind of branched and gotten, the way that it is today. Maybe not commercialized. Some would say yes, some would say no, but I think even the commercializing of religion puts it in its place where it is today. That's what I think about it.
The people who came here from England weren't without a religion. They were Puritans and Puritan separatists who wanted to leave the Church of England, Catholic.
You are right. You are right, yeah.
But what's the argument here? That Christianity wasn't very influential, that Christianity was, I don't know.
No, we was talking about the girl, and it evolved into this. We was talking about the girl who got told to go back to her country and shit from the teacher.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't like that either. I think that's horribly embarrassing for a teacher to talk to a student like that. Here in Dallas Fort Worth, the teacher got caught on camera abusing a student, and she and the other folks in that classroom are possibly going to go to prison because you can't hit a student. They later found out that the student was disabled and was now known to be nonverbal, and she was saying some very, very horrible stuff. They had to blank it out on television. It was that bad, but they're facing jail time. You don't do that stuff. Did that person go to jail? Do y'all know any charges or anything?
No, she didn't go to jail. Hey, so check this out.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think Philip put in the chat, forecasting models predicted that the current steep USAID funding cuts could result in 8.5 million and 19.7 million excess deaths, with our best estimates being around 14 million. And then he added the Lancet, and it's evaluating the impact of 2 decades of USAID interventions, and it projects the effects of defunding on mortality up to 2030.
Is that because of the big No Beautiful bill? I'm not calling it the Big Beautiful bill, whatever people want to call it. That's up to you. Is that information?
That was Elon cutting USAID when Trump first was like early on. First got, well, we're 6 months in. Earlier on, George Soros and the left were accused of, trying to or Bill Gates, somebody, to depopulate the world, and here we are. He's actually doing.
Both of them are accused of it, especially Bill Gates' wife, ex-wife
Well,
now.
it turns out it's Elon Musk doing it.
I see. Yeah.
I always hear these arguments about Bill Gates, and to be honest with you, I know somebody that was a recipient of something that Bill Gates does, and I really don't have the same bullshit that everybody has. I actually like the program that some of the programs that he has. I like a lot of the. Didn't he do something in Africa with? I know this sounds old and bullshit to us, like eradicating polio or some shit.
Yeah, I mean he's done a lot to save. He's done a lot to save lives for someone who wants to depopulate them.
I agree. I'm saying that's a trope that people on the right put out there about him. But like I said, it was Elon Musk that cut USAID, and that's what we were talking about. So, yeah.
Yeah, the depopulation stuff falls in another space, not this space, and they were talking about that, and I just sat there and I said, man, ain't no way in the world you would want to depopulate the earth because you you need somewhat of standing armies, all kinds of reasons why you would want to have a good, healthy population. I just don't understand this kind of stuff. It's either the good Lord put it here or the good Lord will take it. But people should not play God. Like, I've never heard about Bill Gates doing any of this kind of stuff, or really anybody, unless it's dealing with something maybe in a lab or molecular structures or something dealing with microbiology or other stuff, but not things talking about depopulating the earth. I've never read that from any science, just, medical thing, any of that. I've never read that kind of stuff in my life. I mean, I don't know about y'all. Okay. What book does that help me out?
Alright, so do you want to, let's go ahead and explain what he was putting in the chat real quick. So
okay. Yeah, so projections suggest that, I'm reading through from the paper, projections suggest that ongoing deep funding cuts combined with potential dismantling of the agency could result in more than 14 million additional deaths by 2030, including 4.25 million deaths among children younger than 5 years. I'm kind of speechless. I'm just myself came by this study to be honest. Most of this is in African countries, right? So it is programs such as vaccination, such as HIV, AIDS, mortality reduction, malaria, tropical diseases, etc., etc. Like the paper goes into breakdown by tuberculosis, nutritional deficiencies, lower respiratory infections, maternal conditions. So they forecasted program by program. That's the top line number for all of them combined. The 14 million is, I think, the best estimate. They provide a range of estimates. So on the lower range of estimates is 8.5 million. On the higher end is 19.7 million, with their best estimate being 14 million. This is terrific.
Yeah, you put that into a calculator. That is not proportional. That is really bad. I was sitting up there trying to put that in there. That's really bad, and that is under the Republican watch that is done, and they do not care. Just like they don't care in this country that 1 in 3 out of 1 in 3 Americans, they don't have a meal to eat tonight. Zero, nothing. And so that's a problem. That's really embarrassing.
Especially if your country is hella fat. We're supposed to be the fattest country, and 1 in 3 people ain't eating. That's wild.
Yeah, and
we throw shit away like a motherfucker. So damn.
I don't know. I mean, we serve a lot of people. We've served some 10,000 some people in the last 2 weeks. We've seen the need of balloon ourselves, where we've had to move stuff to a massive warehouse to move all that stuff to get people fed. It is an undertaking. It is so sad to see people in America who have told us we don't have this and this and this to eat. And that is concerning. And they said they've seen that balloon and grow since the pandemic. And now that Donald Trump's in office, they say they will see a 22% jump in people in this region needing food. That's embarrassing. In this region alone. That's sad.
You know, it's crazy that a lot of Americans that's on the Republican side that really don't see. Like, I know the motherfuckers in Senate know that's right.
Yeah.
But when it comes to these USAID contracts, you know who actually gets them? It's usually the American companies. Like, when we have to, like, let's say the bottled water, guess who is the bottled water supplier when it comes to certain USAID? It's Coca-Cola. It's Coca-Cola. Do a Google search. It's Coca-Cola.
I didn't know.
Like, this shit is fucking ridiculous. Like, these USAID is putting money back into American pockets, as well as giving us access to like having new trading partners. Like I don't even understand why these people fight USA like it's a fucking crime.
And it's a lie they tell. It's a lie they tell. They want to cause harm to people, but put it under the guise of saving money, right? And it's just a lie. It's a hateful ideology espoused by people like Elon Musk and some of his other tech bros. I'm going to use them like people use George Soros, so get ready for that. And now, just watch it play out.
None of these Christians will bat an eye. They won't bat an eye. These MAGA Christians won't bat an eye at millions of people dead. They don't care. They were saying, open a nonprofit. That's what one told me yesterday. Open a nonprofit and feed all these people. If you care about people so much, why don't you feed them? That's what one told me yesterday in this room.
How embarrassing. I mean, and people, ma'am, that ain't gonna work. I mean, people know that folks are struggling in this country to keep their head above water. Now you continue to read a bunch of stuff where people's credit is now going to be affected by the credit loan. You know, I read a bunch of boring stuff, but this is what it is. That this stuff could go on your credit. It could drop your credit by 103 points, in some places and all that, depending on how it's reported. I find that to be egregious and could affect a lot of people from getting basic stuff. I don't know, from car loans to whatever you consider basic. It is really embarrassing when you continue to read even the bill. I told y'all I fell asleep, you know what I mean, because I couldn't read it. I had to put it into a machine and try to put those pages in there so it'll read it, so I could listen to it audibly. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of folks are going to be affected, and you just keep reading, and it just gets, it gets really bad, y'all. Just keep reading the bill to the best of your ability. Put it in a machine if you can't read it all. It's a lot.
I mean, shit, though, I don't think that it's gonna pass because of most of the Medicaid and those type of implications that it got in it. So they're gonna have to redo it for sure. But if you asking a millionaire,
and they're supposed to,
but they still the house.
You know, the house.
I don't think that they're gonna pass the bill.
The fuck?
Okay, well, shit.
We're still gonna have a lot of.
You can cuss, but that ain't gonna do shit for the conversation.
Not everyone's happy with it in the house. Yeah, not everyone's happy about it in the house. So there's still gonna be.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna pass. I just don't think it is. And they got a couple of Republicans.
And you know what people said, Diesel? You know what people said? The first time it passed in the House, you know what Margaret Taylor Greene said? She said, "Oop, I signed it, but I didn't read it." She actually fucking said that shit.
Wow.
Yeah, she actually said that. So they will pass it again. Maybe a couple of things will be taken out, but they will pass it again. It already passed through the House. It's already been through the Senate. So yeah, they're gonna pass this thing. It's basically done.
I mean, they gotta listen. It was read out loud for some 15 hours. It's like, if you can't even take part of that and understand that it's a bad bill, yes, it'll probably be revised and all of that. Who knows where that's gonna go once it goes to the second. So it's already been revised. Wow. So that bill, has been revised and so on and so forth. It's just not a good bill. At least what I could read of it and get of it, it's a lot of pages to try to read yourself. I really do suggest y'all to buy a machine that can scan that stuff.
We got suggested that yesterday. All right. So, and there's summaries and there's stuff that people can read online. We already know it's trash, but people will sign it because they don't want to go against Trump, right? They're scared of Trump. So they have, thrown their own constituents under the fucking bus, into the fire, taking away their hospitals in their areas, taking away all these different things, and they did it for Trump. They worship, it's like a worship, and they feel like they don't want to be the ones to go against him.
And attacks.
Yeah, I sent them the screenshot photos and I sent them the two URL links from both YouTube channels.
The mass showed
Because it's like, where you trying to like, why would you be recording for all these hours? Clearly you don't
he
have.
said he was gonna primary them April.
Yeah, but you heard what Elon came out and said he's going to financially support Massey against Trump's primary challenge. So Elon basically is like, yeah, I heard what Trump said, but I'm going to pay for your campaign.
And when is that?
Their friend. That might make you
2026, that's a long time ago. I'm just saying that.
What state is Massey? You said Massey?
It was Kentucky. Kentucky, no?
Massey.
Diesel, I'm just gonna apologize to Patty on the stage. I do curse, and I'm gonna stop that on the stage. You might hear me curse on that.
No, that's all good. You good?
I mean, 17 million people.
So I just want to make it clear. I'm sorry.
17 million people losing their health care is a reason to curse. We just heard tens of millions of people that are going to lose their life because of USAID. That's another reason to curse. I mean, so there's a lot of reasons to curse. So if you're sensitive, like, I don't know, have a cup of tea or do yoga or some shit.
I'm trying to be calm, saying I don't want to.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't really think that this is a time to be calm, right? Because a lot of fuckery is happening. So I think you have an appropriate response. It's some fuck shit. It's some fuck shit.
I'm gonna console myself by watching MAGAs on wherever they are on social media, talking about how it harms them in the coming weeks. Because that's the only thing that's going to get me through these next 3.5 4 years, and what lies beyond, we don't know.
Now, I'm praying for a lot of people, April, folks, you know, in these rural areas and smaller towns, some folks who are on the news talking about here that their rural hospital could close. They would have to drive 73 miles into Dallas, Fort Worth, which that sucks.
What's going to happen to the care of Dallas, Fort Worth, then taking on those extra people? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't.
There's a certain capacity every hospital has. I don't care how big you are. There's only so many beds that you can cover, depending on how much staff you have present that day. I used to work in hospitals, and census is a daily thing. Sometimes a 3 times a day thing. Check.
On people, yeah. So I mean, look.
Honestly, I think if you're in a rural area and you voted for this, you should get exactly what you're looking.
It's not only gonna close hospitals, but it's gonna be people in the healthcare field are basically gonna lose their jobs because once this Medicare is cut down. A lot of these places ain't going to be able to stay afloat anywhere, and that's going to say, okay, well, we need less staff because we can't less staff. We're going to start cutting everything, so it'll be a spiral down effect. This industry is doomed. I'm just keeping it real. We had a discussion about it at work today. We knew what's going to happen. It's just obvious. And I hate to have the whole doom and gloom thing, but it's like, it's the same thing that was in the financial field. It's like, I've been in these fields, and you understand how the money flows. When you understand how the money flows, you know what's going to happen next, and what's going to happen after that, and what's going to happen after that. It's pretty obvious. They just screwing us over by one fucking spending bill.
So you mathematically know that tariffs are horrible. Since you were in the financial field, there was a Republican in another room saying tariffs are great and they're going to benefit us. And I'm like, dude, hello, when have tariffs ever benefited America? And crickets in the room. It's just another talking point, believing that we will all have a trickle-down effect from tariffs. No, we're eating the high prices of tariffs, which Donald Trump said that he would essentially not be the high-priced president, which now that has been a failure, and said he would not put us into some kind of war, which that has been an utter failure. This is not looking good for us all the way around. Those folks who are Republican, now you want your vote back, and now you want your ticket back. At the end of the day, y'all voted for this fool, y'all gonna have to make it happen.
Well, currently I'm in the healthcare field, not in the financial anymore. But the people that get hit first when it comes to these tariffs are definitely going to be your front workers in retail. Like that's where it all starts. And of course, all of the ports and things like that, they get hit hard with all of this because, again, you know, less shipments, less spending, less everything, because you can't raise things and people just don't spend less. This is what's going. That's what happened on the front end retail side, as far as this particular spending bill, and there's so many parts to it that's just insane. But specifically the SNAP bill and the healthcare cuts, as well as the tax cuts, that's going to hit everybody, and it's going to be simultaneous. So, good luck, yo. I said this shit, like, didn't I say all of this shit back in November? I was like, yeah, by the end of this year, we're going to reach a fucking recession. I said this shit. I mean, it's like not that hard to get. And it's coming from the guy who went to what school? Walton? In business and economics? That guy? He did this?
I'm not sure about the recession, no, Roy. I'm not on board with that. But percentages of hitting a recession have dropped significantly. So I'm not as convinced on that. And then also, we're just going to have to, in the future, eat tariffs anyway. Even if there's a Democratic president elected in 2028, you're going to probably have to keep tariffs, because if you look at the annual deficit every year now, it's increasing at such a pace that soon it's going to crowd out all spending if you don't increase revenue. So revenues are going to have to be increased, and you're already going to have to do some tough cuts at some point. So you'll probably have to accept tariffs as a way to increase revenue for the treasury.
Matt doesn't want to increase revenue.
Well, CEO, I think you're forgetting.
Hold on, I'm asking CEO a question. How are we going to increase revenue? Tell Matt how we're going to increase it.
Well, yeah, you're going to have to increase corporate taxes, most definitely, and at some point you are going to have to tax the top 1% more. I mean, at some point you can't avoid it at some point.
Now, I thought this bill is going to cut that out.
Oh, no. So let me explain that. Okay, so thank you. Okay, so thank you for saying. Let me explain this, because this is like one of the biggest tricks that's being communicated. So when it says it only is adding 2.8 trillion to the debt, it's saying 2.8 trillion on top of what the projected debt already is. So over the next 10 years, we're going to already add about 13 trillion to the debt. This is an additional 2.8 trillion on top of that. So over the next 10 years, we're looking at 16 trillion in debt, which will put us around a $53 trillion national debt, which means that the annual payments for that, the interest payments, are going to be so high, it's going to crowd out social programs.
Because it's what, 37 or 34?
Defense, by the time you pay for defense and entitlements, that's going to be 90% of your budget. We're barely going to have any money for anything else unless you increase your revenue.
Yeah.
Or you start cutting defense spending.
Yes.
Is it 34 trillion right now?
37. It's 37 right now.
The biggest thing I think we're missing is the high tariffs that Donald Trump wants to come in hot with. We should, if you have a Democratic president, at least lower those tariffs. You may not get rid of all of them or whatever.
We lowered tariffs and we already lowered taxes.
Well, Donald Trump is talking about...
We got to get some revenue from somewhere.
Yeah, we do, and we don't tax the rich, and we don't tax a lot of corporations, ExxonMobil, these big corporations. You do the math, that could be a lot of money pumped into the country that we don't. They can get it from ExxonMobil. You can get it from ExxonMobil and places that don't pay. You understand? When you do their math for that, they don't pay a lot of tax either. They offshoot that money offshore, and so a lot of that money they don't have to account for.